Hello, what is up guys, welcome to another Division video. Now in this Division video I want to bring you my D3FNC set build. I'm just going to kill Bullet King right here just to show you a big idea of how effective this build can be, how I use this build and how I use this gear set to do a couple of things. As you see here, I'm hitting for some very high numbers. And if you're observant, you'll also notice that I'm 25, and the reason for that is just because a few things that in my event info, so I can't pick that up. So I'm just going to run back here just so I'm in a safe place before I go over my build a little bit. And then I'll clear my inventory after this video. Right. Let's make sure supply drop cleared. Okay, I don't really
now
care.
entering a safe area.
Now, as you see here, I'm using 4 pieces D3FNC. This is obviously for the shield with the SMG. It's actually something that's quite popular in PvE, and this is definitely a PvE specific build. I mean, you can use it in PvP, but I would not advise it. It's not the most effective build in PvP. Not even in group play, I do not find a use for it, so I stick with your Alpha Bridge, Pred, Banshee, Skulls MC, all that kind of builds for PvP. This is one that will allow you to easily solo anything in the game. Even with this low toughness here, the reason I have such low toughness is because I'm using Reckless as one of my high-end pieces, the other one is specialized, but the reason I'm using Reckless is just to give me more damage potential, and the increased damage taken isn't really something I need to worry about because most of my damage is absorbed by my shield, so yeah, you don't really need to worry about how high your toughness is because that's not a real show of how survivable you are. For my other pieces, I've just got damage to elites, kill XP. It's not the best road stuff. SMG damage on my gloves, obviously, but it's some, I don't know, like mid-range stuff. So this build is working quite good for me. So if I'm doing this well with mid-range stuff, then if you have a full min-maxed build consistent of something similar to this, you're going to absolute wreck through all the PvE stuffs. Now let's just check a couple of things. My weapon damage, this is my base weapon damage without my shield being up, is 24,000, which is obviously a high amount. Crit hit damage is 55, crit hit chance is 0, obviously. That stuff's kind of wasted, but 62% extra headshot. I've got a couple of bits with stability. I mean, the mods I have for this are definitely not the best because, well, I haven't really, looked for them. What I've been looking for is obviously the best mods for crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and like an idiot, I've been getting rid of everything else, even though I knew I was trying to make a D3FNC build that would work better. I do have almost 20% damage to elites, which is quite helpful in PvE, obviously. 26% enemy armor damage. I can get this up a little bit more if I had destructive, because I don't have this on my MP5. I have different perks that I will go over. What else do you want to see? Survivability. My armor mitigation is 54.31, which is obviously quite high, which is another reason I can get off with having such low toughness, is because, well, I have high mitigation, so I'm not really fussed about that. I also have 20% protection from elites, which also helps with that, suggesting this is a PvE specific build, so I don't need to worry about how easily I'd get shredded in the dark zone, because with this high of toughness in the dark zone you would just get absolute sat down, unless, well, you do some crazy jukes, which you're not going to be able to do with a shield, trust me. But anyway, let's go over my weapons quickly. Oh, I do have destructive on this, so ignore that previous comment, it was wrong. I have destructive, unforgiving, predatory. Predatory is actually a really good one for this build. It'll just keep you at full health constantly, which is a good thing, obviously. I mean, a constant regen, it because that's kind of what it's like. You're regenerating your health constantly with predatory. It just gives you that, I don't know, extra survivability, I guess. For my secondary, I'm using a FAMAS, but I don't even use this. This is just my FAMAS that I use for most of my builds, but I wouldn't pay that much attention to it because it's not even used at all. I don't even use my pistol because for some reason they don't allow you to switch to your pistol with the shield. I think that's kind of weird and needs to be changed, but you know, it's their game, it's their choice. Oh, another thing you might want to note is all 4 of my mods are all ballistic shield damage. One is 4%, 4%, the other are 3.5. I haven't picked up the rest of my 4% ones yet. So that gives me an increase of 34.5% in my weapons base damage, which is an absolute insane amount. I think say 35 roundabout of 24,000. That's 240 times 3. 240 times 3.5. So 246. Who knows? I'm not the best at on the fly math, and I don't have a calculator near me, so it gives you near enough over 1,000 extra damage. Wait, that can't be right. Who knows? It gives you a ton of extra damage, which is absolute awesome. As you've seen there, I was hitting, I think it's 44k a body shot, 70k on a headshot, which is absolute insane amount, which means it would be viable to use this in the Dark Zone as a glass cannon-y build, but really, you don't really want to be using a shield for a glass cannon. I mean, that's kind of counterproductive, is it? I don't know. As you see there, the health is just over 500,000. That allows me to take a lot of damage. It also gives me a damage resistance of 10%, which is handy to have. But that's that. Let's get on to something that is quite important, the talents. Now, this is the main one you want to get. You want to get Combat Medic, even if you're running solo, because your shield counts as a proxy, and this allows me to use Specialized instead of the one that applies healing to your skills. I mean, that one is viable, but I just prefer Specialized, so I can spec more into my health and firearms instead of having to spec a little bit into electronics to have a viable shield. I believe with the base amount of electronics you get with Specialized and combat, and also using Combat Medic, you will never ever come into a point where your shield will break. That is if you're playing sensible enough. I mean, you can't be super tank, but that's not what this build is built around. This build is built around being really a DPS tank. That's what I would call this build. I'd call this build the best PvE DPS tank right now, because you can easily solo stuff. You're quite tanky because of the shield. I mean, 500k health is a huge amount. That's more than triple what I have using this build. I think I have 150k. So yeah, that's more than triple of what I have. So definitely plenty of health on your shield. I mean, some people seem to think you need to go for over 1,000,000 health on your shield and all that just to be viable, but no. With the base amount I get with my Specialized backpack, I am more than fine with this, and I'm really happy with this build. This is one of my favorite PvE builds. I have used it in PvP, and it just doesn't work. It just didn't work. I mean, as I said before, it is a hard hitting build, so you can kill people, but you just are way too easily killed because you just aren't as mobile when you have your shield out. You can't really dodge as much, and it just doesn't work for PvP. another really important perk to use is precision. This will actually allow you to get crits, and yeah, it'll allow you to get crits when using your SMG with your shield, which technically should not be happening, but I believe it's not a big deal that this perk actually allows you to get crits. There's a lot of controversy around it. I mean, a lot of people are saying it should not happen, it should not do this. And oh shit, I dropped my control. Let me just get back to my talents. I mean, it's only the base amount of pulse chance that you get, so that's something like 6, or in fact I'll tell you right now, it's 7.7%, which is, I mean, it's not a high amount. That's like 1 in every 20 bullets, that say around that number. And I mean, I know it's not that specific number, but it's around that number that you will be getting a crit, and the crit is quite damaging. But if you have the mods like me, it's only going to be doing 50% more damage than it usually would, which is enough for me to say this perk should definitely be on your class, but it's not enough to say that it's going to break the game. It definitely does not do that. I mean, as I said before, if you take this build into PvP, you're just going to get shredded and not have a good time. Another really good perk to have on any build, for that matter, is On the Move. This will just reduce the damage that you take by 30% for 10 seconds when you kill a hostile when you're moving. Obviously, using a shield, you're going to be moving all the time, so why not use this? It's going to make you cool. But anyway, I believe that's everything for this build. I did go a little over 10 minutes, which is, I mean, it's fine. It's not the longest video I've done. But if you guys liked this video, I know I did go a bit rambly at some points because, well, I do that. But if you guys have enjoyed this build, maybe try out this build for yourself, see how it is. I don't know, tell me how you find it. Maybe say what you adjusted to make it your own build, or what you would personally change for this build, or maybe if you don't change a thing, tell me how it goes. I mean, I'd be interested to see how this build performs in other people's hands and not just mine. So anyway, apart from all that stuff, if you liked, leave a like. If you want to see more builds and other videos from, I don't know, all sorts of games, just subscribe. I've got plenty of other builds on the way, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.